If you're watching this video, you probably have some level of interest in entrepreneurialism or starting a business, and Airbnb is something that you find very appealing. Maybe you've started property or have an interest in property and found Airbnb. Something I'm going to show you is some of the things that I found very appealing and also some of the things that people need to be made aware of. Something I'd always wanted to do from a very young age was start a business. I left school with 1 GCSE, so I knew that having a traditional career path probably wasn't going to be the thing for me. So I started my first business when I was 17, and it was around the building trade, really specialising in fitting kitchens and bathrooms, and I would find contractors that I knew that were reliable in that trade, and then I would work alongside them. This ultimately didn't really go too well, purely because I was heavily relying on other people, so ultimately that business led to it failing. Something I did was just sort of reviewed why that business failed. The main reason was it was around sort of the sales and marketing side of things. I knew that I needed to be a bit more mature, and I also needed to understand how to sell and how to market. So that was what I did. I took 3 years out, went back into the workplace, and I started to learn how to do sales and marketing. And then fast forward 3 years, I was starting to look at my second business. At the same time, while I was doing this, one big thing I was focused on from the age of probably 16 all the way through to 21 was banking cash. Something that a lot of young people are focusing on is they want lifestyle now. Something that is super important for young people, if you're watching this, is to just start banking cash. It is going to help you so much in the future. So by the time I got to 21, I'd managed to save around £30,000 in which to start my business. Now, when I was looking at potential businesses to start, the reason why Airbnb was a very big appeal to me was that you're in one location selling to many. You're in one location and selling to many, it allows you to scale much faster. An example of this is if you're based in a coffee shop. If you're in a coffee shop, the people are coming to you in which to buy their coffee. You're in one location selling to many, and it is easier to hire people in which to make that business a little bit more passive so that you can scale that and have multiple coffee shops, 2, 3, 4, 5. An example of something where you're not in one place selling to many is if you're a carpenter. People don't come to you to get their kitchens fit, you have to go to their house in order to fit that kitchen. So you're not in one location and selling to many. Another thing that I wish I'd known starting a business that is quite crucial for people out there, for you to understand, it is going to take a very long time. It took me 2.5 years to go full-time into Airbnb. So people understand this is still working full-time in my current job, but then in my spare time working on the business for 2.5 years. And this is most likely what it's going to take for you as well. The reason is because your business, when it starts, isn't able to straight away support anybody else really. Now, once your business gets a bit bigger, it can start to accommodate things like lifestyle, employees, and other things as you choose to expand. The people understand that it's going to take a long time. I see a lot of people where they ring me up and they'll say, oh, I hate my job, I hate what I'm doing, I want to do something else, I want to start my own business, I want to be on my own time. And you have to understand that you've got to stay in that uncomfortable place, that uncomfortable groove for probably at least 6 months to a year. Because I know a lot of people where they went in full-time too soon, they started overloading their business with lifestyle, and then they're not here anymore. And that's because they spent everything that they made, and then tough times entered the industry, and ultimately you were left with nothing to show for all the hard work that you've done. Another thing that I found very appealing to start an Airbnb business is the industry is hot. This means that a lot of people want to get involved. A lot of people want to look at investing their money into Airbnb. Any industry that is new and up and coming and is very hot like this, very easy to do things like raise finance for it, find good deals, just scale your business. So ultimately led me to start my Airbnb business in December of 2019 at 21 years old, based on these parameters. And one quite key thing that I didn't appreciate or know until I'd started my Airbnb business is this industry is unregulated. Now, people might find that to be quite appealing at the start because ultimately there are no wrong ways to do things. You know, there is no one to stop you taking your average room in a flat or taking a flat in a city centre and just putting it on Airbnb. This is a bad thing because this will ultimately change. Things that happen in new industries is they're up and coming, they're very unregulated, and then something that starts to happen is a lot of people start flooding the scene with new Airbnb concepts, new Airbnb businesses. Now, if you've grown your business when it's become unregulated, you have a very challenging time when it comes to people bringing in regulations because you've built your business on a certain set of rules and then people are throwing in rules and you have to adapt your business to the times. Another thing people need to be made aware of is be prepared to ride the waves. When I started started my business in 2020, I unfortunately hit a low slump when it came to Airbnb. There'd been a good 3 years of very good and very promising growth within the industry, and then COVID hit in 2020, and it was extremely hard to make any amount of money. And I'd felt like I'd started at a very wrong time, as I'd just invested to £9,000 of the £30,000 that I had, that took me 6 years in order to build up, and then I felt like I had nothing really to show for it, other than I was still working full time, I was also working nights, and I was also dealing with issues with this Airbnb property. 2021, 2022 were fantastic years, some of the most profitable years the industry has ever seen, which made it fantastic for me, and it's how I grew a considerable portion of my business. And then now we're entering 2023, interest rates are on the rise, we have cost of living crisis, and this is another slump that we're going to face in Airbnb, and that may last for another 12 to 24 months within the industry. So you have to be prepared to ride the waves in business, and know that not everything's just going to be a perpetual upward swing. Experience will tell you when those peaks and troughs may occur, but for a lot of people, and this is me included with this, I haven't seen enough peaks and troughs. I haven't been being an entrepreneur and a business owner long enough in order to be able to see where those peaks and troughs are going to come. And if you're a very skilled business person. Now, with all that being said, starting an Airbnb business has been one of the best things that I've ever done, and it's something I strongly advise the people to do. A lot of people may be put off with some of the downsides that I'd said and some of the stories that I've had on how to get started in Airbnb, but understand that there's never an easy time to make a hard decision. If you want to make 2024 your year, the best way to do it is just start taking action. You'll never find the perfect industry where it's a constant upward trend. You don't need any money in which to invest. They don't exist. All businesses have their ups and all businesses have their downs. The best thing you can do is, if you're interested in starting Airbnb, then just get started. Something I've created for people that are interested in getting started in Airbnb for completely free is the Airbnb Mastery Academy. Inside that, you're going to get a deal analyzer and a business plan template, so you can get started on writing out your business plan for starting Airbnb and get a basic understanding of how to stack deals and how to find great areas on Airbnb, as well as mentoring from myself personally. So feel free to book a call, join the Airbnb Mastery Academy, and let's get started on building your Airbnb.